I think, going back to kind of businesses I've worked with, we've had affiliate managers where they have no responsibility at all apart from customers coming through the door. If those players are poor or those customers aren't continuing to play, that's the CRM team's fault. They've driven the players in, it's in their role, that's all they do. But then I've worked with businesses where the affiliate manager, it's their responsibility for that ROI. So they need to have that. I think data analyst, I think for me, if I was to start a marketing business today and build a brand out, then a data analyst would be probably one of my first hires alongside an affiliate manager, because that is where you remove a lot of the risk in overspending and overpaying for customers.
I'm John Wright, and you're listening to Affiliate BI, the business intelligence and affiliate marketing podcast brought to you by SnapStrong. Welcome to the Affiliate BI podcast. Today we're chatting with Adam Rowley, who is the managing director at RavenTrack. And I'm excited to talk to Adam because he's managing an enterprise affiliate platform. And to be very blunt, these are the types of conversations that I love to have on this podcast, and one of the reasons why we created it. So I want to say, Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having us. Appreciate you getting up early to do this podcast.
No worries. Always do it. So first question right off the bat, I want to basically pass it to you to ask, what does RavenTrack do? I know the answer. I don't think a lot of people do. And why should operators reach out to you for your affiliate program software?
Yeah. So RavenTrack, we are an iGaming affiliate tracking platform. We have been sculpted and created for iGaming, but we also are available to onboard clients across multiple industries. We've been going now since around 2018, and the platform was built around kind of industry experts and different areas of the industry and how we wanted to work. Back in 2018, we decided to focus solely on iGaming and not look at other industries at the time. And fast forward 6 years now, we have 155 clients and we drive around 1 billion clicks per month. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. And why should people use us? I guess that's the big question. So without turning into a salesperson, I'd like to think we know what we're doing. As I've just mentioned, we were built by experts in each field. So whether that was affiliate managers, whether that was compliance team, finance, media buyers, content creation, everybody in the business has done that previously in existing roles. So I've run a lot of affiliate marketing companies. I've run brands. I've been an affiliate manager. So I know what was available to us throughout that period and what wasn't. And we tried to create something that makes a lot of people's jobs a lot easier. So taking bits from competitors and tracking platforms that I've used for the last 12 years that have worked fantastically well, some things that maybe haven't worked so well, and started to kind of build and develop on that. So yeah, I think using that experience of being on both sides of the coin has kind of really helped us to kind of build out RavenTrack and kind of continue on the trajectory that we're going at the moment.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting topic. I think a lot of people in our space don't always have experience being on both sides of the fence as an affiliate manager, or on the operator side. And for me personally, I think when people cross over, they take their experience with them and they have a different look. And anyone that's done that crossover, they've actually just excelled at their job.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think, kind of when I first started in the industry, there were certain platforms that you kind of had to use. And we were trying to move a lot quicker, potentially, than what the technology available was at the time. So that was from ourselves wanting to understand real-time data, being able to make changes and optimization quicker, to even the affiliates and the advertisers wanting to see their data as well. So I guess instead of us continuing to get frustrated with what was available, we started to build out our own platform. And I do agree, having the experience and knowledge of both sides definitely helps, because you don't focus on maybe the aspects that aren't as important as well. I know, for a fact that we work quite heavily with affiliates and advertisers as well as the clients. Because without the affiliates and advertisers, then the clients aren't going to drive revenue. They're not going to be paying for an affiliate tracking platform. So I think it's really important to understand the needs of both sides, particularly.
And then going to the next question, I had a newsletter that I published recently, and I talked about how I think there should be a bigger importance placed on tools that can help operators improve their revenue, whether it's optimization, stopping revenue leak, anything that gives them an edge. And usually the tools that they start with are on the affiliate program side. And so in StatsRun, we've documented over 1,000 iGaming affiliate programs closed in 3 years. We're now adding 50 per month. We're closing 30 per month. It's a constant 30 per month. So what would you say for the industry moving forward, that do you think we're focused on too many sales? Like, we've got a lot of white label operators. It's so easy to launch the next iGaming operation. Do you think there should be a focus on saying, let's stop these brands from even going out of business, and the ones that are kind of in the middle ground, can we make them be stronger? My opinion is this benefits affiliates.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. I think there's a difference, right, between every brand. A lot of white label brands, I've worked with them before, where they make, as a business, you may create 5 white label brands. You may want a potential duration of each of those brands. So I think when it comes to the larger brands and I think the shift has happened to retention already. And I think that is mainly because of acquisition costs rocketing. That has probably happened over the last 5 or 6 years. So these smaller white label brands that maybe don't have the budget there to do that, they have to focus on retention, because they're not able to compete with the larger brands. They're not able to bring in the better player value. So being able to understand and focus on that retention side is incredibly important. I don't think that was the case really in the past as much. I think, a lot of the brands that we work with, it was a lot about quantity over quality. It was drive as much players into the business as possible and hoping that you were going to get a whale of such. It's quite interesting that you said about, 50 new programs opening, but 30 are closing. It'd be really interesting to kind of understand the dynamic of that and the size of those programs and which ones are opening. So, are the smaller brands and smaller programs closing, but the larger ones are opening? Or of those 30 that are closing, are you seeing a pattern where it's every kind of 12, 13, 14 months and they're just kind of staying for that kind of smaller period? I guess with ourselves, we're not seeing a reduction in programs opening. However, to be honest, we are still kind of towards the start of our journey. So we are kind of understanding the market still a lot and kind of what we're going after. And I guess the main thing is what are these brands after for an affiliate program? I could kind of go back to longevity, but we have brands where they will, when they're speaking to us, they will only want to agree deals for 6 months, for 9 months, because they know that they're going to only be here for a certain period of time, which is absolutely fine. But I think there needs to be some understanding and transparency on that, especially when working with affiliates.
Yeah, I think you actually touched upon something interesting. So while we do have that data of the 50 programs being launched, the 30 being closed, I actually do want to analyze and go, what's behind this? Can we identify any patterns? Is it all white labels, or how many what looks like decent sized operations still find a way to fail? I think you know, the details in the data. And I think if we actually dig a bit deeper, maybe that actually might be an interesting feedback loop for affiliates to say, look, we're not just going to charge you the flat fee. It's the flat fee is going to be even higher because you fit this quality or characteristic. And I think you're right. It's because the costs have gone up that it's actually changing, people to shift for retention should be everything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think there is, particularly with, they're not, I guess they are still emerging markets, but they are becoming, kind of settled now. But you look at Africa, South America, even North America, I guess we have clients who will reach out to us who have been informed that they need an affiliate program. They know that revenue can be driven through it, and they know that it can be a profit for the business, perhaps that knowledge and understanding isn't fully there. So I think something that we need to do as a business and something that we kind of have a lot of care and attention on is actually understanding the business, whether they're brand new, whether they've been going for 10 years, 15 years, and what they want from an affiliate program. A lot of businesses, we're the same. Revenue, we want to bring in more clients, we want to drive revenue to our business. However, I would rather have a client that comes into the business and is with us for 4 or 5 years. So us giving them that feedback, sharing that knowledge with them, gives us a better understanding of what's going to be successful for them. So that may be from providing a low cost solution for them for the first 3 to 6 months, so they can test the water. They can see if their brand is viable with affiliates. And I think a large understanding is how quickly they going to expect ROI on what they're paying out. And that is sometimes quite a shock to some clients that are brand new into the business. They think if they spend $10,000, then month 2, they're going to return that and some. Fortunately, that's not the case. Might be for some people, but yeah, our job and our kind of something that we kind of really ensure that we do is give as much facts as possible to that client before they sign up.
And I think you have experience in PPC and SEO. And I'm wondering if this is part of the new ecosystem to say, well, do you really want to have a brand that is 95% dependent on affiliates, where that's all of their revenue? Because affiliates basically have the power to say, look, your 3 biggest affiliates can just pull the plug on you, and then you're kind of suffering. Do you think that brands should be putting that as part of their marketing plan? It's like, look, you shouldn't be fully reliant on affiliates. It's if you want to have a healthy longevity, you should put money on PPC and understand how it works, invest in SEO. Because I actually believe that the brands that do these things tend to have better player values. And that's an extension of affiliate marketing, where when they're being seen in SEO and being seen in PPC, it has the feedback loop of going, that next click from the affiliate click is probably going to convert higher and maybe have a better value.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think you need to do a number of different marketing channels. With PPC, SEO, it goes hand in hand with affiliate marketing as well. So the more content and the more eyes that are on the brand is going to essentially help the affiliates, and it's going to help the affiliates in regards of ratios, registration rates, click to registration. All of that is extremely important to an affiliate, and it's where you can start to maybe agree better deals with the affiliate, because they're going to get a better CPA rate, because they're going to bring more conversions through to them. I think when it comes to affiliate marketing, I think why it is so popular and why it's so interesting as a first port of call is because it is a very easy way to start driving your brand and getting a reputation on the back of other people's traffic and volume. And that is the great thing about affiliate marketing, is that you can have a lot of knowledge or you can have very limited knowledge, but you can set up a brand, you can set up an affiliate program, and you can start to drive that through certain affiliates and advertisers who will help you through that. I think the next step, and what we've just kind of focused on the last question, is then the longevity of that. So understanding and getting a lot of players through, and you have a lot of deposits, you have a lot of revenue, but then really understanding and figuring out where that value is and which affiliates and advertisers are driving that value is the next step to kind of being that larger brand a lot of people expect to be. But yeah, with PPC and SEO and affiliate marketing, the more channels that you can drive through, the better, because again, it's all in regards to conversions. Affiliates want conversions. Affiliates are going to give you better deals if they can see conversions, and they're going to be a lot more, friendly to your brand over others. And you know how many brands are out in the industry, and we also know the 10% of affiliates that drive the majority of the traffic as well.
Would you say that PPC is kind of like the last untapped frontier of where operators could actually get more value from the traffic? I've talked to some operators where they're like, yeah, we're one of very few companies tapping into certain markets in a certain space, all on PPC. And they're just so glad that their competitors are kind of too scared or don't have the budgets to kind of, you can't afford to make a big mistake because if you burn your budget and you don't get that ROI, I mean, you actually have to be really good with your numbers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's very difficult to compete with PPC because you're competing against a lot of other businesses that have large, extremely large budgets. And again, with brands that are wanting to try and perhaps get a quick return on their investment, you're not going to get that through PPC. It's a long game. There's a lot of mistakes, as you've just mentioned, and some of them mistakes can really kind of halt what you're doing. So I think it's scared maybe, but kind of a bit nervous about going through the PPC route because again, going back to affiliate marketing, it's a much more risk-free, well, risk-less, I would say, channel. And I think you do need to have probably more direct knowledge when you're looking into PPC and SEO as well, for that matter.
Yeah, they're both kind of risky because I mean, you get the wrong person on board, your SEO could be damaged overnight, and your PPC budgets could be blasted in a week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as I say, I think the amount of budget that you could spend on PPC in a day, a lot of brands are spending that on a month in their affiliate program.
I'd believe that to be true. I have a tough question, and I'm not sure what the answer is. I think affiliates want this answer, but they're not asking it, which is there a way where affiliates could be part of helping with retention? It's affiliates are typically seen as like an acquisition channel, but there are some sites, maybe forums, are kind of more retention focused. I'm just wondering, what do you have for thoughts on how affiliates could be part of that retention equation, or how could they change their content and marketing such that that's a part of their ecosystem?
I think absolutely. I think it's really important that affiliates are part of that conversation, and whether that's from the content or the marketing that they're doing, or it's actually speaking with the client themselves and discussing that data. Perhaps even giving them some additional information about those customers and what they're doing and why they're playing. So, as an example, you may have an affiliate that's driving sport players, but they're going straight to casino. If the affiliate doesn't understand that because they may only see one overall revenue in the affiliate program, they might not be aware that they're driving casino players. Could they then start changing the content that they have on their website? Could they start changing the way that they speak to the customers on their site? I mean, you look at the likes of Odds Checker as a retention website, their odds grid is probably one of the largest retention, tools in the industry for sportsbook. However, it's very difficult to understand how many acquired customers from other affiliates are utilizing Odds Checker.
Right.
Until you remove yourself from the odds grid, that's probably the only time you can start to understand that. So obviously, I imagine we'll talk about kind of BI tool later on, but having that interaction with the affiliate and giving them perhaps that additional information, it's going to serve both sides of the coin for giving that understanding. So the affiliate knows their traffic and knows their volumes better than anybody else. However, the brand then also knows what that player journey is and how that player and customer will work throughout. So I think there's a lot that the affiliate can do retention wise to help, but that's got to start with the brand as
Right.
well. And they've got to provide that information to that affiliate to help.
And would you say that usually that information you're talking about specifically is kind of like a bespoke report that they have to go in and say, look, here's a bespoke report on what's happening across our entire brand's ecosystem. And then here's you in relation to that.
Yeah, I think so. I think, when it comes to, the reports that we display at RavenTrack, they are unique and different to each brand because it will depend on the data that we receive from them. However, not every affiliate or advertiser is going to want to know what game the customer plays on, what sport they're betting on, what time of day they're betting, what emails are being more relevant to them. So I think instead of having all of that information thrown into a platform where you can then start to miss the important data with a platform, I've used platforms where they throw everything in there and then it can be really difficult to pick the important elements of that. So that's why you have the BI tools. That's why the kind of internal dashboards that the brands have. I think that's where that data should come from. We can with Raven, we can do bespoke reports, and we have done for certain affiliates that they want to see that information. But I think you have to be really careful not to overshadow the kind of key facts and figures of acquisition.
Right. Because it comes down to either the affiliate manager who's getting that report for you or the affiliate to say, okay, what data is important here? Like you can get all the data, but sometimes it's either analysis paralysis or maybe the insight requires someone who's a good analyst to actually dig a bit deeper.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, every business is different. Some businesses have one affiliate manager, some have 50 affiliate managers, have no affiliate managers at all. It might be the marketing director that's running everything. So it all depends on what they're trying to achieve from each marketing channel. And from my experience before RavenTrack, when things are going well and revenue's coming through and you're hitting a great, your P&L's looking positive, you rarely look at the intricacies of each player. But sometimes it's when it's a little bit too late and you start to pay a lot of money for maybe poor traffic, maybe traffic sources have changed. So I think this, again, going back to the brand and what they can do, I think it's important that they work with the affiliates and not just think of them as a tool of driving players.
Right. I'm wondering if there's maybe a new role for not just an affiliate manager, but someone who's more of the analyst as an affiliate manager that not only knows how to get these reports in maybe like your platform, like RavenTrack, but just even knowing like what reports are useful because it's what I think to be the current state of our industry is that most of the affiliate managers coming into the space, like we're going back to the 50 new programs, it's sales. So I have 2,000 affiliate accounts. We create an account for every program, whether like we're basically only sending them affiliates. Like that's our
Yeah.
only traffic. And it's a one track mind. It's like, what geos do you have? And we try to explain what we do. And it just goes over their head. I just think maybe there's like three different layers of affiliate managers. There's ones that are focused on sales, like to their detriment. There's ones that are very good with relationships, but maybe they don't have the BI analyst experience.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's actually a role available for an analyst.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think, going back to kind of businesses I've worked with, we've had affiliate managers where they have no responsibility at all, apart from customers coming through the door. If those players are poor or those customers aren't continuing to play, that's the CRM team's fault. They've driven the players in, it's in their role, that's all they do. But then I've worked with businesses where the affiliate manager, it's their responsibility for that ROI. So they need to have that. I think data analyst, for me, if I was to start a marketing business today and build a brand out, then a data analyst would be probably one of my first hires alongside an affiliate manager, because that is where you remove a lot of the risk in overspending and overpaying for customers. So if you know that a player value, a player is probably going to leave that brand after 3 months or 2 months or 6 months, whatever that is, you know that you need to grab that value and you will know exactly what kind of CPA that you can agree to with an affiliate. So if you know that a player value, lifetime value is $300 or £300, then you know that you can't go over that in regards of the CPA. And I think when you've got an affiliate manager that is just responsible for driving traffic and not responsible for the value of that traffic, I think there can be a real divide then on what happens within the business. I mean, I prefer the latter. I think an affiliate manager should be responsible for the whole journey. I think there has to be responsibility on the CRM team as well for extracting that value. But I also think it can be difficult with the tools available for an affiliate manager as well, right? If they are only able to see what that affiliate has done every 24 hours, how can you optimize things in real time? So I think a lot of the tools that we're working on within RavenTrack is to give as much opportunity to optimize as possible for that affiliate manager, because we know that, again, there are very experienced affiliate managers. There are affiliate managers that are just joining the industry. I was one when I started, And I would have loved to have had some of the tools that are available now, kind of 12 years ago. So I think, yeah, again, I think every business is different, and some businesses can't afford 5 affiliate managers, 5 data analysts. So you need to be able to provide the tool to businesses that have one person or businesses that have 100 people.
Yeah. I think what you said about having like one affiliate manager and one analyst as your two first people, where the first person is really the analyst. I think that's insightful because, I think there's a lot of people that it's depositing players first. It's not the retention or the longevity. Um, but I think there's kind of like a risk in going, well, you could either double your affiliates or imagine you could actually double the value that's coming in from your affiliates. I mean, one sounds easier than the other, but we're not seeing it with the exception of like, the bigger programs that actually invest and have a BI team.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we, back in the day when I was at Active Win, we created an anchored report, which essentially would give you an understanding of players that signed up in February 2022. It would tell you what they have done in March 22, May, so on and so forth. So what you would be able to then see is the longevity of those players. So you would then be able to review February 22 players. Maybe 90% of them are still playing. However, your February 23 players, maybe only 10% of them are playing. So you'd be able to understand and review, why is that the case? Has the affiliate perhaps changed traffic source? Has the brand changed their welcome offers? A lot of it then comes to regulations. Has there been a change in regulations, the way that players can play and deposit? There was a big shift when credit cards were removed from deposits. But having that understanding and analysis means that you're not combining everything together and still working with the older players, and they're actually overshadowing the fact that you need to make changes and make differences for kind of acquisition at the moment and customers.
I want to talk a bit more about CRM and BI tools because it's almost like when people think about CRM, they're thinking about like Salesforce and HubSpot. And I have heard a lot of affiliate managers use these tools, and I believe these tools are more sales focused, and they're not. Maybe there's a way of using them better. I don't think they're always relationship focused. Like they're more focused on let's get the number of affiliates who can get signed up, and then it's like the number of FTDs or NDCs. Like those are the two metrics they care about. But I think a good affiliate manager is relationship building. I think we're missing the relationship building component of tech, either native inside affiliate platforms, or I think there needs to be a change in CRM. And then the other side of it's the BI part.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think just kind of picking up you mentioned there about relationships. I think that is very much overshadowed sometimes, and a lot of people don't think about how important the relationship is with affiliates. And I think that's probably why you see a lot of people stay within the industry when they move to different brands and operators, and you will see a shift of affiliates and advertisers moving across with that affiliate manager because they have that relationship. And with the relationship comes trust as well, right? So if you're a brand new operator and nobody's heard of you, and then you maybe bring in somebody who has that relationship with affiliates, then you're jumping on the back of that reputation and relationship that affiliate manager has. So I think that's extremely important. And you kind of mentioned there about CRM tools maybe being very sales focused. I think it depends on how you want to use a CRM tool. Again, going back to businesses, whether they have one person or 100 people, I think you can use it in a lot of different ways. We're integrated with Optimove, who I personally think are a very good CRM tool. They're experts in their field. We're not experts in CRM, so we work with third parties who are experts in their field. But what I have seen mistakes in the past have been where CRM is internal, so it's in-house within the business, is that they group all affiliate traffic together. So they will assume that every player that comes from a RavenTrack B tag or a Income Access B tag or My Affiliates or whatever is going to follow the same journey and it's going to be the same customer pattern. That's where a lot of the mistakes come from. because they need to understand the affiliate again, and the affiliate needs to discuss with the brand what their traffic is. That affiliate that you're spending $700 with CPA, they'll be working with 50 or 60 different brands. So they know how to extract that customer value. So whether that be an exclusive welcome offer that player gets, whether they get an email on the second day of signing up, or whether you give them a week, or whether you wait for an exclusive event. I think that's really important from a CRM team to understand. That player from a social media affiliate will be completely different to a PPC affiliate, which will be completely different to a content-based affiliate. And I think that's where the CRM team will get their worth, is by not coupling everything together, because they're completely different. Every affiliate, has a completely different way that they drive traffic and volume, and they're interested. They want retention as well. Whether it's CPA or not, they still want that player to keep coming back, because it shows that they can drive value to your business and they can keep the CPA at the levels that they want to.
I want to take a quick step back because you mentioned Optimove. Now, maybe I just don't understand them as much. Are they meant more for an operator to manage their players, or is that also a tool to manage your affiliates?
It's a tool to manage, to manage their players.
Right.
Yeah. So we work with them. So essentially they have all the information and data in regards to that customer, and where that customer goes to, what games they play, how long they stay on the site, and what they do. They couple that with the data that we have from an acquisition perspective. So how much that customer, we've had to pay for that customer to come in, what revenue share they're on. So they couple that together, and they will understand what value they need to extract from that player to essentially break even and make profit. I think from a CRM perspective for affiliates, so say HubSpot, going out and speaking to affiliates, I would personally not utilize that. I would rather have an affiliate manager that reaches out individually. The amount of events, conferences, forums that you've mentioned earlier, John, there's a lot of opportunity to reach out to these affiliates. And these affiliates are very open to working with brands and new brands, new brands into the market are perfect for them because they're not saturated and they're able to start driving more traffic. But I think when you start seeing CRM systems, if I was an affiliate, I would probably put them to the bottom of the list over someone reaching out and kind of making it a bit more personal.
I would agree. And then taking a step back to like the CRM component, I'm just thinking out loud that let's pretend that I was back, being an affiliate. Today, I would actually want to know who's actually working on these retention or tools to optimize the business, or even ones that stop revenue leaks. So, for example, Optimove is a good CRM. I know Greco does bonus abuse. Like if I'm sending players to an operator, I want to make sure that the bonus abuse isn't going to like knock them out of business, which has actually been happening for like decades. Or like what other kind of tools? Like maybe they can use like Warrior Lab for kind of going, hey, what does our VIP program look like? I'm just wondering if you think there maybe could be a feedback loop to say, hey, if you're going to be working with this brand, it's not just that they use RavenTrack, they also have these other platforms. Just thinking out loud, if you think this would be a valuable feedback loop.
No, definitely. I think anything that a brand is doing to help extract value from a customer, the affiliate should know about that, because it's going to put you above the brands within the industry. And I think a lot of this is done by a lot of brands, but they don't give that visibility. And I think, some affiliates, they don't care. But that's absolutely fine, because they know what they're driving, and they leave it up to the brands, and they don't really want to know how they do it. They just want to know that it's being done. But I think your larger advertisers and affiliates, you need to have that dialogue with them, because a lot of the affiliates and advertisers have a lot more knowledge than the brand as well when it comes to how you can extract more value. So they will know whether another brand is using a bonus abusing tool, whether they're using Traffic Guard to stop fraudulent traffic coming through, whether they have a really good VIP program that they're seeing a lot of value from. I think that dialogue is extremely important. And there are only a number of brands that do that extremely well. We're privileged to have quite a lot of them on RavenTrack. And you can see that it works because you can see the value and the way that the affiliates will drive more traffic to that brand because they're trusted, and having that dialogue it means that communication, that trust is there and that relationship starts to build. So yeah, I'd agree. And I think that goes not just for these services. I think it goes for anything from what's coming up in the next 6 months. Is there going to be brand changes? Is there going to be a new welcome offer coming in? Are you going to be opening a sports book? Are you going to be working with new gaming providers? All of this is gold for affiliates because well ahead.
You're giving me a lot of good points of what we could do as a company. So I should probably be sending you a payment or commission for all
No,
this help.
no worries.
One topic that I think is actually not talked about a ton of, and you touched upon it, which is like a VIP program. And it's interesting because I'm planning to have, Gally from Warrior Lab on as a guest at some point. And he was saying that he felt he rocked the boat by talking about the Fight Club. It's like, don't talk about Fight Club, don't talk about VIP. But I think we're getting to the point where people want to know more about this. Like, um, personally, I think a lot of operators, if they don't know about the different CRM tools like Optimove, or Greco, it's kind of like, well, what about VIP? It's like you said, with the previous affiliate managers that have that experience, like, where do you find these people? How do you build your program out?
Yeah, I think VIP programs are. I think you're right with the Fight Club reference. I think people don't really want to talk about it, and maybe that's down to kind of regulations and how you extract that value and what you deem as a VIP customer. Because I suppose you've got to understand it's the brand that decides whether a customer is VIP and how they deal with them. Um, I think that conversation needs to be had, and I think it needs to be a lot more open in regards to how that is. And again, it comes down to you talk about CRM tools, VIP tools, bonus of using tools. Unfortunately, they all come at a cost to the business as well. So all these services, they need to extract the value from that customer for it to be, you know, uh, for it to be possible for the company to continue with that. So I think everything that's done has to be done strategically. I would always suggest that you work with the experts within each field. So again, we mentioned Optimove. We work with traffic guards for a fraud prevention tool. Even from content creation, we work with the likes of Banner Now and Banner Flow because that's what they do. So just as we integrate with third parties who are experts in the field, I think brands should do exactly the same thing as well if they've not got that resource internally.
I agree. And then last question is, what do you think is the future of affiliate marketing as it intersects with business intelligence?
I think, we obviously touched on it kind of earlier. I think we're working very heavily at the moment with um, internal BI tools with the brands themselves. So currently, and a lot of the time, is that they send us the data, we filter the data out, we provide it to the affiliates, we run commissions, we show everything in the way that it should show, and then they pull it straight back into their internal dashboard with commission costs, with everything that they need to see from RavenTrack. Now we're working with a number of brands to say, well, what can we extract from your internal BI after we've passed that information back to you? So whether that comes from, what that customer does further on, what products they play on, what games that they play on. So actually, instead of the data coming in and then coming straight back out, how can we extract some of the data from your internal BI system as well to show more formative information for the affiliates within our platform itself? We have a lot of data that comes into the platform already. Obviously, it's up to the brand and the client what information that they want to display with affiliates or not. That's entirely up to them what they want to do. We spoke earlier about in the past, a lot of platforms that I've utilized have thrown too much data in, and then it can be very difficult for you to extract and understand the important information about that. And I think that needs to be really carefully thought out on what you do in regards to that data. However, that doesn't mean to say that if an affiliate who is a large business, some of these affiliates are larger than the brands themselves, give them the data that they want, give them the data that they need to help optimize and really push acquisition across. Um, Obviously, generative AI, a lot of people are speaking to that at the moment. We're working with a number of companies at the moment to build that into RavenTrack, because we know that a report that you might want, John, is completely different to what Daryl might want, or might be completely different to what one client to another client wants. And we shouldn't restrict affiliates or brands to what they should see, or affiliate managers. We should say, here's all the data. You can do whatever you want with this data, because a lot of brands, a lot of affiliates, they will just use the API. They will export, put it into Excel, and then they will run their own pivot tables because that's specific to their needs. What we want to be able to do is mean that they can keep everything within RavenTrack, so they can create a bespoke report for them. So when they log in the morning, their dashboard will say, these are your top 10 affiliates by clicks, or these are your top 10 affiliates by country. We suggest that you go and speak to affiliate A because they've increased their conversion rates over the last week. This is all the information that we want to showcase, because essentially we have that data available to us, and we want to be able to support people and users using our platform to be able to do that.
I think you're touching upon sort of a problem we have in that affiliates will ask us going, hey, if we can use stats from data and then build a custom Tableau dashboard, they're kind of like, well, you tell us what is possible. But sometimes they have a very specific need. They're like, I need exactly this. They come with everything prepared. And I think it's really difficult to have a one size fits all,
Yeah,
like you said.
absolutely. I think sometimes they might not know what they want as well. And I think that's down to ourselves to be able to push them in the direction that we believe that they should go in. We have a lot of clients that will move from their own proprietary software to our platform. And I think that is, that is important. And that usually happens when a brand gets to a certain level where they need to outsource that to somebody that focuses solely on that. So I would always suggest, and I would always recommend, whether it's a brand with ourselves or my affiliates, NetRefer, whoever, speak to the platform, ask them, what's working well, what are some people doing that's slightly different to us, because we want the brands to grow. We want them to grow. We want them to stay with us. We want them to keep building their revenue, because it helps both sides of things. So I think, yeah, you've got that help and support available. And I know that, we would definitely provide that information and support of what we think you could be doing differently. So I would really strongly suggest that people do reach out to their tracking platforms for that.
And then there could be another conversation or an article about what it's like to build your own stats tracking platform on our side, and the same thing on your side, which is, do you want to do this in-house or do you want to go with an established platform? And I think we already know what our answers are in advance, but I think there's some educational content we could be doing to say, if you're going to do it, this is what you're going to go up against. And these are all the examples of how it can work, but you pick and choose what you want.
And I think you're right there. So, you work with a lot of clients. We work with a lot of clients. So something that they may be doing at the moment with their proprietary software, that might be taking them 5 days to run a report. It might be taking them a long time to do something. Speak to us, because we will have a feature, or we will have a solution that may make things a lot easier. That is our main goal as a business, is to make people's jobs easier and to extract and drive as much revenue as possible to the business. It really is as simple as that. We have the experience and the knowledge of working with brands, sportsbook, casino, bingo, lottery, Forex, African brands, European brands, American brands. We can help. We can push you in the right direction of what we think you should do. And we can always recommend certain aspects as well.
Adam, thank you so much for doing this. This was a really insightful chat. I didn't even get to most of the questions because we went down rabbit holes and it was entertaining. How can people get a hold of you? And I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah. So if you want to hear about RavenTrack, then the best place to go is RavenTrack.com. You can reach out to me personally, adam@raventrack.com, or you've got contact at RavenTrack.com as well. If you want to have a demo of our platform, we'll be able to send you across logins. And yeah, it'd be really interesting to speak to people, even, if you've got no interest in moving across to us. If you want to have any kind of information or knowledge, I really enjoy having conversations like this.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in to the Affiliate BI podcast. I'd like to take this time to ask for a small favor to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps us expand our reach to rank higher in podcast directories and reach more listeners.